Let's talk a little bit about the best parts of dental school and kind of things inside and outside of academics. Best part of the dental program at the University of Sydney for me is that it had a heavy emphasis on hands-on experience dentistry. In Australia, dentistry is both public and private, and in Canada, it's all private. So the benefit for a dental student with this type of split is that dental students can work on public patients in dental hospital supervised settings. This means that you don't have to acquire your own patients. You have unlimited patients provided to you, and you get to plan the best course of treatment for them. You're not limited by the patients you find or their financials because they're covered through government subsidized programs. So I felt that I came out of the Sydney program extremely confident about my working skills. My speed was much faster than most Canadian colleagues, and I wasn't nervous to work on patients because that's what we did predominantly every day in third and fourth year. The hardest part of university in Australia for me was being away from my family. I have a huge family that was all in the Lower Mainland at the time, and I would get pretty homesick, but I made some awesome friends out there, which definitely made it easier. My advice for all of you would be to get involved in everything, academically and socially. One of the most rewarding mandatory parts at dental school was our research project. I would most definitely say do the experiment. I know it takes a little bit more time, but you have to do a project either way. I would much rather do an experimental project with some friends than sit there and write a review. We were actually lucky enough to get published at the end of our 4 years as well. So that's my research group on the left there. But outside of academics, the Dental School Student Association plans so many great events through the years that are definitely worth attending. In your first year, you're taken to dental camp. I think it's in the first couple weeks of starting school, where the years above host you and give you all sorts of tips and tricks about how to survive, what to look out for, and how to ace dental school. I think I can't remember exactly what's on it, but they give you a USB on that camp trip where, you even have like textbooks and tips and notes of past students, kind of just really setting you up for success. And the picture in the middle there, that's from Dental Ball, which is a big party that happens every single year for all 4 years of dental students to just celebrate the hard work that you've put in that year. And then on the right, that's us at the Roland Bryant Cup. This is where our school would play another school in the state in all different sports for an entire weekend. Sometimes they'd come to us, other years we'd go to them. So kind of just getting involved in these other outside of dentistry things that it just made school really fun. We even played against different faculties like medicine and physio and chiro all throughout the year as well. And, your experience at whatever university you choose can vary depending on what you make of it. So everyone is placed at the same standard main hospitals and rotates through them based on the day or your group. However, you get placed in other smaller rotations as well. But in fourth year, you get the opportunity to go on a rural rotation. So this is 1 month in your final year. Your flights are paid for, and so is the accommodation to where you go. Mine was in a small little surf town called Byron Bay. There's lots of different places and different times of the year that you can go. I think mine was the best one. We got to do lots of awesome things. The picture in the bottom left there, that's a group of us after kayaking with dolphins. The top left was when my best friend came to visit and did the lighthouse hike, which is quite famous out there. The top right is us visiting an orchard and a vineyard and just kind of, just in making the most of every single weekend that we had out there. And the bottom right, terrible picture of me, but that's when I got to meet Chris Hemsworth at a local farm market because it's a town right next to where his house is. Again, this is one of the many ways that you could get more involved. However, it's totally optional, but the benefit is that you would get exposed to more treatment than you might in your regular hospital settings, and you experience a different demographic based off where you get placed. In some of these areas, there's less access to dental care, so you might get to see more rare conditions. And a couple of the days out of our Byron rural placement, we got to shadow an oral surgeon and watch him out of his clinic, which was really cool as well. And here's a slide on some of the fun things we would do outside of school. So none of these were university events, but the first slide there is one of my birthdays where we went to the races and just got to be immersed in something that is very Australian, spending the day with your friends, getting all dressed up and betting on horses. The second slide is our friends group all at one of the beaches near Bondi for Australia Day. So believe it or not, that is January in Australia. It is lovely. We would always get together and get everyone down to the beach and take down our barbecues and floaties and spend the whole day hanging out. And this was many, many weekends, not just Australia Day weekend. In the third picture, that's us at a rugby league game. One of our friends' boyfriends played for the Tigers, so we all went out to support him in his game. And the final picture is my whole group of friends piled into my rooftop hot tub just for a party again. And yeah, so, there's a lot more to do than just school, and you can actually have a life while you're in dental school. It doesn't all have to be serious. It's, you just got to make the most of it. And I would definitely recommend doing that in Australia.